Hello and welcome back to our videos. Before starting the next impulse, next German impulse, let me just say a couple of things about missed opportunities and let me know what do you think. Well, you remember this unit here that was is still surrounded by my units, and I was tempted to attack it with my 40th corps here, and I said, nah, I'll just leave it for later because reasons. So now what has happened is that the First Guards Army has advanced here in this hex, and this creates a problem. In the previous situation, when no unit was here, it would take just one defender hit to eliminate this unit, because it's a one-step unit and it's surrounded. All hexes that let me take this out for a bit, and all these hexes, this one, well, it couldn't rotate here obviously, but it could rotate here, were in enemy zones of control, and that would have meant that it would have to lose a step by retreating there. So with just one hit we would have eliminated that unit. But now that the First Guards unit is here, we can't do that, because it can retreat here without step loss, and then retreat another hex, and then lose another step. So it would take 3 hits to eliminate these units. So we've lost a bit. We've lost the advantage we've had over there. Well, I'm not too worried about it, because I obviously have other more serious things to consider in this side of the front than the other one. But it's kind of, especially in the first few rounds, definitely in turn 1 and 2, there are going to be many such moments where you question yourself: have I done right? Should I have attacked and get rid of one Soviet unit? Stuff like that. But anyway, this has happened, and now it's the German impulse. And let me remind you, we've got just one card in our hand, and our draw pile is already empty. So now that there's just one card in our hand, the rules allow us to pass. So we can pass and keep the card for a later impulse. And let me see, the Soviets got 5 cards, which they could very well mean even 3 or even more, but at least 2 activations, unless there are so many attacks that they end up using all their cards. But it could, I think 2 impulses are in order for the Soviets still in this turn. So, well, I could attack this unit here, but then it can always, this is not even surrounded. I could try and, just get it back, but I think I'll keep, as I've said, I wanted to keep the 40th Panzer Corps still intact, still in very good shape, practically unscathed, just for a last minute, reaction resort, or even because with a card I can activate any one unit, and maybe after the next Soviet impulses, maybe some units situation became so desperate that I have to save it. So I'm passing. That's what I'll do. I'm passing, and let's get back to the Soviet impulse. So let's start the Soviet impulse by drawing our 2 command cards. That's 1. That's 2. Oh, the 6th Army. Both supplemental cards, so higher command value wins. So that's going to be the command card, that's going to be the auxiliary, and again, first we check for command event, and as usual by now, we have to get used to it, again a command delay command. So this card gets shuffled back, into our let me see if command delay, just one moment. Soviet special events, command delay. If this card is the current, then there are 4 or more cards in the Soviet draw pile. Oh, phew, a timely catch. Hey, there are only 3 cards in the Soviet draw pile. So this event, this command event, doesn't apply because there are 3 cards and not 4 or more. So it doesn't get repaired, and it also clarifies it. The last sentence in italic does not apply if not the auxiliary card, or if there are less than 4 cards in the Soviet draw pile. There are 3 left, so it's not going back. Of course, this doesn't mean that it won't give it some trouble, because it's time for the 6th army to activate. And of course, before activating, it's again the Southwest Front. Let's check for objective relocation. Okay, let me focus there and I'll be right back. Okay, as always with the Soviet activation, we first check for objective relocation for the active front, no matter which army of the front has been activated. So, this is the 6th army is here. It's a Southwest Front army. The objective is still here, and let me see if I think we've got to move it now because Soviets are so close, but let me check it. Well, if any unit in active front, it doesn't matter if the unit is active or not, the front is active. So if any unit in active front occupies markers, well, it doesn't occupy it, or adjacent to German, no, it's not German occupied, or proximate to an occupied marker's hex. So this unit, no, wait a second, is this unit proximate to that hex? I mean, the hex is unoccupied, and let me check the rules for proximity, because I'm not sure that, just give me proximity, proximate to an enemy unit, no, proximate to the garrison's hex, no, proximate to a hex. A unit is proximate to an empty or friendly occupied hex, okay, it's empty, if it has sufficient movement points to move to and enter the hex. No question about movement points, but it's in the zone of control of my second SS corps, isn't it? Yeah, and this hex also in the zone of control of second SS, and this hex in the zone of control of third corps there, and yeah, so it can't move. It definitely can't move here to here, and it would have to go outside. No, it can't go here. It's zone of control. So this unit would have to move back here first, and then, and again, yes, it's still. No, oh god. I have the impression that it's still not proximate, and if that unit is not proximate, I don't think any other unit is it? I mean, let me check if a unit could go, you know, around here, or maybe this unit, but just for could possibly go, well, break zone of control 2, 3, 4. Oh no, it can't. It's zone of control here. Wake up. I probably shouldn't be doing this video. It was a difficult day and I'm a bit tired, but I'll give it a try and, you know, fix it. So these units definitely in the zone of control. This unit, they can't go straight to zone of control or here. Oh, come on now, I can't believe it. Yes, I mean, okay, it's got enough movement points, but I think it has to be able to reach and enter. It's very clear, not just reach the hex, it has to enter the hex, but it can't happen because it's one of the, you know, general and rules that almost always apply, but you can't move zone of control to zone of control unless, of course, following the path of retreat. But that's a whole different story. Let's get into it. But in every other movement that we have encountered here, whether it was retreat or movement, any movement method, there's no movement method that ignores zone of control to zone of control movement. So I mean, they're not proximate. Yeah, I mean, I'll be happy to for anyone to point me, to prove me wrong, or point where I have made the mistake, but I don't think it's proximate. And I mean, we're down to 3 Soviet cards, which means practically, because its turn is 3 days, 2 days have passed, and mobile group Popov hasn't reached the first objective, which was practically next to them. I can't imagine the Stavka's frustration, surprise, and how are we going to tell Stalin about this? I mean, there's Siberia for all of us. Well, no, Siberia, the front, but okay, maybe I shouldn't be joking about things like this, but yeah, I can't see how it could enter the hex. I mean, yeah, it got enough movement points, but there's no way it can reach the hex. I mean, if this unit 7 goes through the gap here and goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so yeah, and 7, and it would have to go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I mean, ridiculous. Okay, but it's not happening. I mean, yeah. Okay, I'm going to treat it as not proximate, and yeah, please let me know if I'm horribly wrong. So we'll continue with the 6th Army orders. Now, let's see what the cards got for us. So the card says here, okay, assign one, no, that's turn 6 onwards, no, second, because we examined them in order, activate all units in army. Well, quite typical. And of course, the event, it's turn 5 and it's third in the list, so it would happen. So another activation. I mean, sorry, I should have first checked the card for the events, and then activation, obviously non-isolated units, and then objective relocation. But sorry, as I've said, I'm a bit tired. Sorry for the mix-up. I hope it won't continue. So not much they can do. Well, the first thing is they will do, since they haven't the objective wasn't relocated. We're going to movement methods. Okay, they've got they don't have, the 6th Army doesn't have an armed objective. It's only the 1st Guards and 40th, but let me, sorry, okay, so let me pause. So sorry about that, and let's go to movement methods for the 6th Army. So first movement method, take VP hex. I mean, there's no an empty German town or city or mapped VP hex that they could enter. No, the closest one is 14 hexes away, so I don't think it's happening. So I will go to that's what we'll do. Let's go to movement method 2. Adjusting to German VP hex and near objective. Okay, the objective is a little bit closer there, but there's no German VP hex. I mean, the closest German VP hex again is Kramatorsk, and yeah, they would be closer to southwest objective, but they're all infantry units. It's like stuck here, but no, it's infantry. So, okay. 4 movement points, and no way they can reach Kramatorsk, even if it was just clear terrain. So, number 2 out of the way. Open supply lines, turn 3 onwards. We're still turn 1. They're not spearhead characterized as spearhead, so we go movement method 4, cause surround. Now we might have got something there. Move to hex that, if occupied by the unit, would cause, and it's descending order, that would cause an unsurrounded German unit to become surrounded. Prefer a hex that would cause surround for the most German units. Okay, we've got this stack of units here, an improved position, and yep, I think they can surround. I mean, this unit is already surrounded. I think no, it's not, because this hex is not controlled by a Soviet unit. So if we move a unit so as to cover this hex, then the unit would become surrounded. Okay, if yeah, so kind of 6th army in descending order. So let me examine. Yeah, that's here. Number 8. Can number 8 reach this hex, or even if it reaches this hex, it would, you know, again surround the unit, because every hex around the unit would be enemy zone of control. So let me check number 8, and I think it can, because number 8 can go 1 and 2 and 3 cross here, still not in the zone of control of our units, and yeah, they can go here. I mean, they can stay here, or they can go here. So let's see the preferences. I mean, and they could also get here. Yeah, and still the unit would be surrounded. Zone of control, zone of control, zone of control. Yes. Let me check the preferences then. Cause surround. Prefer a hex that causes surround to the most. Okay. B is adjacent to the German unit being surrounded. So it could be, since we can't go, we could just go here. Yeah, you know, just one. Yeah, this. Okay. So there are 2 hexes that they can reach. Is adjacent to the being surrounded. Prevents a German unit from tracing supply. Obviously. And D, number D, is not adjacent to a Soviet unit. So yeah, it's going to be this hex, because it's the only hex that's not adjacent to. So let me run it. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3. Adjacent. Not adjacent to the German unit, not adjacent to any Soviet unit, and causing surround. Okay, let's go to next unit. Sorry, should have first check number 13. Sorry, said descending. A Soviet unit already causing surround, but not adjacent to the surrounded unit. Moves adjacent is possible. Okay, so should have. Okay, it says move to hex that, if occupied by the unit, will cause an unsurrounded German unit to become surrounded. So sorry, that was wrong. Come on. As I said, I should be probably doing these videos descending order. 13. Move to a hex. It would become surrounded. Yes, it can do that, because it can go 2 here and 3 here, and the unit would be surrounded, and maybe even it could go, no, it could go 3, because breaking zone of control, it would take him 2. It could go 3 and 4. It could go 3 and stop, because the entry zone of control, it can't go here, because it could take him. It would be 2 here and 3 here and 4 here, so it can't reach this hex, which would be preferable. So yeah, I mean, maybe a human player would do what I have done, but the system, you know, there's a reason behind the system, and we have to abide by it. So, okay. Next, number 8. Cause surround. Move to it that would cause to an unsurrounded. Now, okay, it's the beauty of this system. Now the unit is surrounded, so there is no unsurrounded unit, and it says a Soviet unit already causing surround, but not adjusting. I mean, these are the 2 units that actually cause the surround. Okay, okay, this unit is not active, but I mean, one would argue that this unit also controls these units, or this unit controls this hex, so it contributes, but it's not, it contributes, but it's not causing surround, because if I remember correctly, causing surround means that if that unit, you have to take out this unit and for the unit to be unsurrounded, if I remember, I have read something about it. You need to cause surround. Let me check, just give me a moment to check it. Okay, found it, page 21 under 9.3, terminology. Cause surround. A Soviet unit is said to be causing surround if its presence in a hex results in Soviet units or their zones of control in all hexes adjacent to a given German-occupied hex. In other words, if the removal of the Soviet unit from its hex would cause a currently surrounded unit to become unsurrounded, then that Soviet unit is causing surround, which obviously is not, doesn't apply to unit number 7, let's say, or even number 8 or 4, because we can remove it, go away, and still this unit would be surrounded, because these are the two units that right now are causing surround. So that's it. And of course, always worth mentioning that by this movement we would have to check if we open our land. So if this Soviet VP hex becomes, because it's a restriction, becomes proximate to Germans, to German units. So no, it's not happening, because zone of control here, okay, this unit is surrounded, it can't go Zog to Zog, obviously, but even, let's say, if could move by another method, it would have still to stop here, because this one are still closed, the ones closed. So now, so there's no unsurrounded unit. I mean, there is this one that's still unsurrounded, but I don't think, but let me check it, it's worth checking it. So number 8, could number 8 reach this hex here? It would have to be, yeah, it would have to be this hex to cause surround to a unit, or, no, I don't think they were gonna go surround, it's not in danger. But let's check this unit just for the sake of it, even if, well, let's get to a closer unit. This could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and now still, I mean, these hexes would be controlled, but they wouldn't control this hex, and it's, you know, the closest unit, so it wouldn't cause surround. Even this one, it would have 2, 3, 4, no. And let me check this one, but this one, where is zones of control? Zones of control here, no, just here. No, all these hexes, I mean, there's no way one unit can cover all these hexes, because even if this unit moves, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 at best, or 4 here, but still these two units would not be controlled, so it can't cause surround to any other unit. So I think that's over for number method 4. Let's go to number method 5, which is interesting, again descending curve to Soviet VP hex. And yeah, it says move to an empty or garrison Soviet VP hex. I mean, there are 2 hexes right now empty that for the active front, you know, value here, value, I don't, okay, the hex, oh, sorry, you can't see it, but the hex in 03, 02, it's marked for Voronezh front only, so it's only Slavyansk that's marked for Southwest front that would have, okay, and to which a German unit is proximate. Again, this one is the only possibility, it's empty. These units are not, because of zone of control, obviously, are not, again, proximate, as this unit was not proximate, the Popov unit weren't proximate to their objective, despite being adjusted to it. These units are not anywhere proximate to Slavyansk, so there's not any unit moved to an empty aggression targeted, and which, no, there is no such hex right now. So, but there is a second case here to number method 5, Soviet infantry unit. If unable to move to an unoccupied Soviet VP hex, move to VP hex occupied only by Soviet armor units, regardless of German proximity. No, this one is the only one. its infantry unit. And the last sentence says, an infantry unit starting a VP hex stacked with only armor units does not move by this or by any subsequent method. Now that's kind of difficult, because it starts in infantry hex and it's not stacked. It's not stacked with armor. It clearly says stacked with only armored units. It doesn't say alone or with no other unit, or it specifically says it has to be stacked with only armored units. I mean, it isn't stacked with any other units, but in that case, I think it would have been mentioned more clearly. And still, again, it can't leave the hex and live in proximity to German, so I think that's I'm interpreting this correctly. So please spot my mistakes and fix them. So they can't go, no unit can go to Soviet VP hex. There's no empty hex able to reach and meeting the requirements. So let's go to 6. It's already gone too long, this video. Adjustment to German VP hex. Again, no, just 4. I mean, the closest German VP hex would be here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No way we can reach this hex, Chiguev or Zmiev. Okay, there goes 6. 7. Adjustment to German unit in logistics hex. No German unit in logistics hex. I've made the mistake previously, and let me show you that Zmiev is it's not logistics hex, and the same goes for Chiguev. No yellow background, so they're not logistic hex. And again, you haven't seen it, but trust me, there's no German unit in logistics hex. I mean, the closest for the front would be this unit and this unit and this unit here, but as I've said, oh gosh, sorry, can you reach here? And it's descending. Okay, let me see. Probably not. So it's this unit descending. Okay, let's take the closer unit. So it would be 1, 2, and 2, 4, and even worse for that. So okay, let's not spend too much time saying the same things over and over. Okay. And okay, adjustment to German unit, number 8 method, descending order. Move to an occupied hex that is adjacent to German unit and not adjacent to Soviet unit, adjacent to the same. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful. So, ascending, can we do it? And no, yes, we can. I mean, number 8. Okay, it's yes. Descending in number 8, so it can't move here because adjustment to German, but also adjustment. So the same goes for this hex, the same goes for this hex. But if we meet to this hex and stack it, we can stack it, of course, just 4 steps here to units. It wouldn't be adjusted; it would be stacked with. It doesn't say don't stack it with another. It says move. Oh, sorry. As I've said, I shouldn't have been making this video. It says unoccupied hex. It's clearly this hex is occupied. Okay, so the requirements of the method. Yep. No. And I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to check against 925. When I moved this unit to cause around, I forgot. 925 to apply to all moves in which a Soviet unit would end its move in hex adjacent to German unit. Shouldn't be making this. When a move, prefer hex within the current Soviet. Okay, a hex that would cause the German. I mean, that's the point of the method. A hex not in everything is in Soviet support radar. A hex not adjacent to a Soviet unit. Yes, no, we examine this option because. Even if this hex would be adjacent to, it would be adjacent to 3 units. This hex is not reachable by this unit. and an empty it's an empty hex. It's an empty hex. So yeah, we have made yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you've done it correctly. As I said, move number 8.